This fresco painting, made for the dining room of Livia, wife of Roman Emperor Augustus, delights us with the power of naturalism. The tree's leaves, bark, and branches are so true to life we can easily identify it as an oak. The fence seems to recede back in three-dimensional space. We forget that this is paint on a wall. It seems to be nature itself. The birds are practically moving. Art historians use the terms illusionism, realism, or naturalism to refer to artworks that aim to fool the viewer's eye by replicating the appearances of the world. Although these terms are almost synonymous, there are distinctions in the way that art historians use them. Illusionism denotes the use of techniques to create illusion in art, such as linear perspective, to create the illusion that objects in the picture recede back into spatial depth, or foreshortening, modeling, anatomy, and proportion. We use realism to describe artworks that are lifelike without being pretty, pleasing, or flattering. This realist painting shows the harsh reality of backbreaking labor, exposing the torn clothes and ill-fitting shoes of the impoverished people who are breaking stones as their work on the side of the road. With naturalism, objects in an artwork are lifelike but also idealized, as if reality had been photoshopped to perfection. In this Roman statue of the Emperor Augustus, Rome's most admired ruler, the middle-aged emperor appears to have the well-muscled physique of a young athlete. The artist idealizes his body to glorify his rule. Naturalism was the favored artistic style of ancient Rome, and not just for the political elite. This fresco painting is a marriage portrait of young Romans. To make the husband and wife seem like believably real people, the painter lavishes attention on her high-fashion curls and his wispy beard. Yet their eyes are so exaggeratedly big and soulful, like the eyes of characters in anime, that we can be sure these portraits have been idealized to flatter the couple. Interestingly, the 200s brought a departure from Roman naturalism, a rather startling break from what had been a long-standing Roman artistic preference. We can see this move away from naturalism in this portrait of a Roman ruler. It is no longer a convincing likeness of an individual. The eyes are so exaggerated in size and so geometric in shape that they are unnaturalistic. The hair is also an artificial pattern. The artwork is stylized. The image is impersonal, cold, and detached. Stylization refers to art in which an emphasis on pattern, convention, and style takes precedence over naturalism. In Rome, this turn toward stylization coincided with the establishment of the Tetrarchy and continued through the conversion to Christianity. It's a mistake to think that stylization requires less artistic skill, or that the Roman move from naturalism to stylization involved an artistic decline. In fact, stylization has its own form of power that is often preferred by artists and viewers. Take, for example, Hello Kitty. It would be a mistake to say that Yuko Shimizu, who designed her for the Sanrio Corporation in 1974, was not as good an artist as Oide Toko, the Japanese artist who painted this portrait of a cat watching a spider in the 19th century. Certainly, Toko's naturalism is riveting. We are captivated by the texture of the fur, the anatomy of the whiskers, ears, and paws, the alert body ready to spring. Hello Kitty lacks all of this, but that's so that she can offer something else. Hello Kitty is radically non-naturalistic. She is all flat outlines, no shadow, no light, just simplified shapes. No claws, no mouth. She cannot speak or eat. She stands upright on two legs, which is ridiculous for a cat, but not for a human. Notice she wears a shirt and overalls. As a stylized creation, she gets to be more than just a cat. She's a hybrid of a cat and a little girl. Her enormous pink bow is her symbolic attribute of gender. Hello Kitty has to be stylized because she is, you could say, a spiritual being rather than a physical one. The spiritual ideal of girlish cuteness. That's what she represents. Flat as a letter on a page, she exists in a conceptual realm, not in the physical world of space and time. She was born in 1974, but like Roman Emperor Augustus, she never ages. Perpetually she waves at us from a Sanrio heaven. In fact, putting humor aside, stylization plays a very important role in spiritual art across many religious traditions. If we examine this 6th century mosaic from the Beth Alpha synagogue in Israel, we can see the appropriateness of stylization for the Jewish community it serves. In the lower register, flat stylized figures are used to depict Abraham sacrificing Isaac. This preference for stylized, simplified forms in part reflects a concern for the Hebrew Bible commandment, "Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image." By simplifying the figures, the artists refrain from claiming for themselves God's power to create human bodies. The figures are abstract signs, not illusionistic images, and so the artists avoid breaking the commandment. Similarly, in Islamic art, the same prohibition on image making will lead to a tradition that avoids depiction of holy figures. Islamic art develops a magnificent tradition of stylization. Graceful lines and flat patterned images harmonize with the beauty of calligraphy. Remember that naturalism and stylization are relative terms, used to varying degrees. The 2nd century mosaic on the left, from the villa of Roman Emperor Hadrian, is highly naturalistic. The centaur's anatomy is impressively exact. Its foreshortened legs seem to reach forward in space dramatically. The 5th century Good Shepherd mosaic draws on that tradition of naturalism, but adds an increasing stylization. Its rocky landscape defines a solid foreground and middle ground, almost like a stage set. But the sheep's wool has become a stylized pattern of brown intersecting lines, as if the sheep were wearing sweaters woven from their own wool. Naturalism had been the main artistic mode of ancient Greece and Rome. Stylization becomes increasingly important as the Roman world converts to Christianity. The original Greco-Roman religion involved worship in nature. The deities were conceived as being present in nature. The new Christians worshipped in churches and understood their God to transcend this world. Stylization best expressed that.